Tonight, electoral rolls unveiled. Special team to investigate 6-year-old case. And works begin to address drainage problems in Suva. The 2014 general election electoral rolls are ready and available to the public. Today, Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum presented copies of the electoral rolls to 3 of the 4 registered political parties. Ndreu Bukailangi with this report.
The 2014 general election electoral roll is finally out. It was first distributed to political parties before it will be released to members of the public to check their names. For the first time ever, these electoral rolls contain up-to-date information on those who have registered and also have an edge against past rolls.
Your address may have changed, or just in case you've been wrongly put in the Western Division when you're in the Central Division, you can verify all those details. The staff will be there and you can give your details, validated obviously through documentary evidence, and they can make those changes. The roll is about 540,000 voters, all of them are here. And this is obviously part and parcel of the process which we have been talking about.
Today's meeting with the political party was also a chance for the AG to iron out some of the issues they have regarding next year's election.
It was a sign of us having a conversation with the political parties. We are grateful for the fact that FLP, SODELPA and PDP turned up. And we had those discussions. They asked us some questions and we clarified those questions, and it appeared to us they went away very happy with it, and it was a form of engagement. It's a pity that NFP was not there.
For SODELPA, this is a time to assess the electoral roll and map out plans for the election campaign.
I think it's good for parties to know the total number of voters so that we can then go out and more strategically plan how to get our voters in. So it's a very important document and necessary. I think it's necessary for voters, for a transparent system to have the register of voters so that people can see valid evidence of their registration in hard copy. So I hope my request to government is to make it available to as many outlets as possible.
The newly registered People's Democrat Party will now have a chance to pinpoint areas to concentrate on for the election.
We are happy as political parties that the process is rolling, and we are happy to receive the electoral rolls, and this kind of goes closer to the much promised elections for 2014.
The 2014 general election will be held next year in September. Ndreu Bukailangi, Fiji One News.
Acting Commissioner of Police Ravi Narayan has directed the Director of Criminal Investigations to personally head and conduct a thorough investigation into the case of 9-year-old Serayman Denge and finalize the matter as soon as possible. The directive follows the findings of an inquest made by Nosori Magistrate Charles Ratakele over a week ago. The initial police report on Denge's death in 2007 was alleged suicide. Police has also ordered that a parallel investigation be conducted into how the initial investigation was conducted and where police failed to establish whether an offence was committed. Force Inspector General Assistant Commissioner of Police Isikeli Vuniwanga will lead that investigation. There's confirmation tonight that interviews for the Police Commissioner's post have been conducted. This was carried out by the Constitutional Officers Commission. The post was left vacant after former Commissioner Brigadier Ioane Naivalurua's contract expired in September. Since then, Acting Commissioner of Police Ravi Narayan has been heading the Fiji Police Force.
The Commissioner of Police appointment of the Constitution is one of that of the Constitutional Officers Commission, and the Secretariat for that Commission is the Office of the Solicitor General. So it's really a matter which is handled by the Constitutional Officers Commission.
The Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji has grounded a local inter-island vessel. In a brief statement today, MSAF says they have had to ground the MV Sylvan following an incident that happened on Saturday. An investigation is now underway. MSAF says the vessel will not be able to sail until a special survey is undertaken to determine the seaworthiness of the vessel. That special survey is scheduled for this Thursday. In its long-term bid to address the growing number of unemployed youths in the country, the apprenticeship program is being revamped. This will come into full force next year. The idea is to provide more job opportunities and ease the growing rate of our unemployed youths.
The revamping of the apprenticeship program next year should give our youth another reason to be optimistic of the future. The apprenticeship program should see business companies taking youths as apprentices, giving them work experience. In recent years, apprenticeships have declined. Only Western-based businesses have taken full advantage.
Companies are not investing heavily on training apprenticeships. What they've relied on is students going in privately.
But that should no longer be a problem with government revamping the program. This move by government has already generated strong interest among businesses.
We need to get behind government on this particular cause and help train our young school leavers into a particular trade.
Under the 2014 budget, any apprentice employed, the employer will receive a 150% tax deduction for salaries paid to that apprentice. Through the apprentice program, youths will not only get employed, but have the chance to further their trade and contribute to the country.
The tradespeople don't normally work in Fiji. Some of them find jobs in Fiji, but their skills are worldwide. So they can sell their skills in the Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, and other countries. So they're very sought after.
The apprenticeship initiative is expected to have long-term economic benefits, not just for the businesses, but also for apprentices themselves. Reviver for all, Fiji One News.
The employers' body also believes that small businesses will still be the key driver of economic growth in the new year. FCEF Chief Executive Nesbitt Hazelman says with government's assistance towards this area expected to increase next year, small and micro enterprises will remain a major economic contributor.
We believe that if there's any short and medium-term growth, it'll come from this particular sector. They're by far one of the largest employers of people in this country, and government has recognized that, and they've shown support by giving them certain tax breaks.
In its 2014 budget, government has offered tax exemptions to SMEs with a yearly turnover of less than $500,000. The employers' body says this should boost SMEs' contribution to economic growth and job creation.
Encourage the small and medium enterprise to continue to grow their businesses so they can move out of that sort of area and move into the more larger or formal sector of businesses in this country.
The Water Authority of Fiji last night started their wastewater relining project work. This is aimed at minimizing overflows and blockages in the central business division in the capital city, Suva. To help them do this, they're using some of the latest modern technology to identify leaks and burst pipes left undetected for many years.
With the latest technology at its disposal, the Water Authority is putting that to good use. This is the first of its kind to be used in the country and is something that Water Authority hopes will speed up their work in the heavily populated areas like Suva before it moves to other parts of the country.
This technology has been around, it's not a new technology, but it's the first time we're using it here in Fiji. Rather than digging up roads or pavements to relay the damaged sewer lines, this technology is used to blow a thin membrane through the pipes to patch it up and work as if it was a new pipe itself.
The machine gives the Water Authority of Fiji engineering team a clear picture of the work that needs to be done on a wastewater pipe system.
If you see some of the video footage of our CCTV that's gone through into these pipes, it's big damages around the city in terms of the wastewater pipe. So this technology will alleviate and fix those pipes.
It also allows Water Authority of Fiji to carry out other necessary checks in the system.
There's a before and after test. We've done an assessment before, and obviously after they relined it, we'll check it again with the same CCTV that I'm talking about to see the integrity of the relining exercise and see if there's no infiltration, there's no leaks. So there's a post-project assessment in terms of how well they've relined the sewers.
The cost of this project is $2.5 million. Ndrobu Kelangi, Fiji One News.
In the news ahead, making agriculture attractive enough to entice young people. And partnership forged to boost tourism. The Navuso Agriculture School is now being eyed by the Ministry of Agriculture to solve an age-old problem. With the younger generation losing interest in farming, there is now a fresh drive to encourage school leavers to take up farming as a viable career path.
The Ministry of Agriculture is finding that most young people are not interested in taking up farming as their future career path. This has resulted in the reduction of farmers in the country. To try and address that problem, the Methodist Church-run Navuso Agriculture School is stepping up.
And this is something that Fiji needs, and this is something that the Agriculture Ministry is focusing towards at this point in time, to get good farmers that can produce for the country, and in terms of economic development, and also increase in terms of its export and whatever programs that we intend to implement.
Government has also come in to assist them in utilizing most of the land in Navuso to be used as training grounds for some of our future farmers.
We need drainage improvements, desilting of the existing farm drains, and also the tractors that should assist in the plowing up of this huge land to turn it back into productivity and get it back into production, not only benefiting the institution as a whole, but Fiji as a whole in terms of export and also what it can generate.
For the Methodists, this is also a unique opportunity to work with government in helping grow the economy through agriculture.
We set up this program for replacement farmers. As you know that we have old farmers outside there, and we set up this program for the youth so that they can move out after 3 years and become replacement farmers. That is the main focus of Navuso.
To help Navuso achieve that, government has provided a farming digger worth $357,000 and a tractor with all its implements worth more than $99,000. Ndrewu Kelangi, Fiji One News.
And in a bid to boost opportunities for local crop and livestock farmers, stakeholders are ensuring that technical and market information is readily available. The Fiji Crop and Livestock Council is doing all it can to increase its members' productivity and income. Madhium Bolaitamana reports.
The Council says this commitment is part of the main objective of the FCLC to act as an apex forum for advocacy to better represent the needs of farmers to government and stakeholders.
One of our major initiatives this year was working with the Budget Task Force, and that was to push agricultural issues. One was to push duty-free issues for agricultural implements, and that was received. We got that.
Komei Totoe says the FCLC representation of farmers include bridging the divide between the banks, aid agencies, the potential new investors, and more importantly, raise the profile of Fiji's farmers involved with crop and livestock production.
As a council itself, we've always been approached for funds by farmers directly. We are not a funding agency. We do not provide money, but our role is to help the farmer increase his business and income, and we can do that by forming the commodity associations and putting them in proper framework associations.
So what does the FCLC comprise of?
Representative of 12 commodity associations that make up the farmers here in Fiji. So it covers the beef, sheep and goat, dairy, root crops, ginger, kava, honey, fruit, salad vegetables, coconut, and agri-food processors.
Komei Totoe also spoke of farmers having the opportunity to join their associations simply by using their mobile phones. But this, he said, is expected to be launched in the early part of 2014. Madhium Bolaitamana, Fiji One News.
A memorandum of understanding was signed today aimed at developing the tourism sector further. The MOU was signed by the Ministry of Tourism and the University of the South Pacific. It underscores the importance of USP's involvement in the tourism industry. It also looks at ways both can support each other. What this now means is that the Tourism Ministry will tap into USP's research base, and there'll be regular consultations to ensure better planning for future development projects.
USP is an important contributor to such a project, And there are a number of different other projects that we have in place and implementing over the next year that will benefit from the input of the students and the staff of the University.
Through this partnership, USP students will be able to take up internships at the ministry. USP believes it will also boost student confidence in the sector.
For us, it is an ideal that we work hand in glove with those organisations that can use that research to develop their own tourism activities.
Food vouchers and cash payment for our welfare scheme pensioners will soon become a thing of the past. This is after a pilot program by the relevant ministry found that there was more financial and economic benefits if recipients accessed this state-funded assistance through banks. As Salome Rambo explains, the findings of that project was presented at the recent UN Financial Inclusion Program meeting in Brussels.
Back from a recent visit to Brussels, where Dr. Chikuluveni presented the findings of a reform program that has flourished locally. A key highlight of that Brussels visit was the need to financially empower our social welfare recipients by opening personal bank accounts. Cash vouchers, according to the minister, has so far not provided an incentive to save.
But now with the assistance of the Pacific Financial Inclusion Program based with the UNDP here in Fiji, there has been a reform so that people who are under the social welfare scheme, these are the poorest of the poor, they have now opened bank accounts.
The new scheme means pensioners will only draw when they need, also allowing them to save where they can. Interestingly, improvements have already been shown.
This has been in place in the past 2 years, and it has been seen that 16% of these social welfare recipients have actually made deposits, so that not only are they withdrawing, they're now making deposits to make savings.
Here in Fiji, through effective implementation of the program, identity issues were also a concern.
To the forum was the fact that through this reform with social welfare, we were able to detect the fact that many of our people here in Fiji, estimated at 30% of people in Fiji, do not have birth certificates, which means they are not registered. Legally, they do not exist in Fiji.
The financial inclusion program would soon see a major shift from vouchers to e-banking. Salome Rambo, Fiji One News.
The increase in structural fires has now prompted the National Fire Authority to conduct night patrols. As Revive for All reports, it's hoped that this approach will reduce the incidence of night fires.
With the festive season in full swing, structural fires are on the rise, leaving many families homeless. According to the National Fire Authority, majority of these structural fires occur at night. This has prompted NFA to take a proactive approach to address these night fires.
We've instructed all our stations to, instead of remaining in the office, to move around at night, do some patrols in busy areas, in towns and cities, and also do some scanning around the residential areas.
With some 110 fires recorded so far for this year, NFA is leaving nothing to chance. Its officers conducting visitations to various commercial and residential areas in urban areas. They're also calling on the public to do their part.
They need to check their property before they go to sleep or before they close their business. Check their all power points off. Whatever ignition sources that you have, you must check. Because we are analyzing those records.
The NFA hopes that a change in mindset will happen sooner rather than later, where precautionary measures are concerned. With Christmas a few days away, simple measures like rechecking appliances or placing mosquito coils on proper stands become even more crucial.
So we're urging the members of the community to take extra care at night before they close down their business, especially in supermarkets and warehouses. A lot of activity during the day. They need to do thorough checks before they close their business, and likewise for homes, before they go off to sleep. We are conducting, they do a quick check.
Reviver for all, Fiji One News.
A family in Varoko on the outskirts of Mba will be celebrating the festive season with welcome relief. This is after they were given the keys to their new home by the Commissioner Western Commander Joeli Dawaki. Nearly a year after Tropical Cyclone Evan wreaked havoc in the Western Division, The Raya family will finally move back into their new home. This is also thanks to government's $5 million rehabilitation and rebuilding program for the year.
It's very much ridiculous, the happiest man in life now. For the Christmas that I got the house today and the thing was open today, and I'm more happiest man. Thanks very much.
For the past 11 months, the Raya family have been living with their extended family as they awaited the completion of their home. Raya says 3 weeks ago, a privately contracted construction company arrived at his home to inform him they were going to rebuild it. He says the home is a timely Christmas gift for his family, adding they will move into the home as soon as possible.
Till the grant came from the government, the day was the happiest day for us. I think when I get the house, the government supplied all the stuff to us. It was dropped in the Tamatama and asked by the army officers to get it from there. And I hired one carrier to get the stuff from there and dropped it in my home. It was there for 1 month. After 1 month, they called the army officers to bring the carpenter. They brought the carpenter and built the house in 3 weeks.
With the year almost done and dusted, it was time for the Public Service Commission to celebrate its achievements. It was also an opportunity to present its line minister and Prime Minister, Commodore Vurengembaini Marama, with 2 awards it received recently. These were the 2013 Service Excellence Awards and the Fiji Business Excellence Awards. According to the Permanent Secretary, Parmesh Chand, it was a day of reflection.
We wanted to brief him on the work of the year in terms of PSC's work, because he is the minister responsible for public service.
Hard work paid off for some staff who were rewarded for their commitment. But it wasn't just a time to reflect on what has been done, but to also look forward to the challenges ahead.
The new year will see a totally reformed Public Service Commission, as well as the work we will do.
Stay with us, we have regional news coming up.